Welcome back as we take you to a very deep and amazing journey of relaxation of bedtime story. Please like and subscribe to the channel so we can get your request on a story you want to listen to. Before we start, make sure you are very comfortable and in a very warm spot. Take a deep breath and make sure to focus your mind entirely on your breathing, forgetting about your worries in this short while as you get the best treatment you can give your brain. Okay, let's begin. As the twilight deepened over the ancient city of Copenhagen, a silvery glow spilled across the narrow lanes and crooked rooftops, casting long shadows that danced like whispered secrets. Hans, a young painter with a heart full of dreams, lived in a tiny attic room perched high above the bustling streets. From his window, he gazed at the endless forest of chimney pots, longing for the emerald hills and quiet woods of his childhood. Yet, under the blanket of night, a familiar friend always visited him. The moon, a round, friendly face that peered through his window with a timeless gaze. The moon, ancient and wise, carried tales from every corner of the world, stories woven from the threads of starlight and shadow. Each evening, as the city hushed beneath the velvet sky, the moon would share a new vision, a glimpse of wonder that Hans would capture in hurried sketches on scraps of paper. Tonight, the moon promised a tale unlike any other, one that shimmered with magic and mystery, a story born from the heart of distant lands and ancient rites. Hans leaned closer to the window, the cool glass pressing against his cheek, as the moon began to speak of a sacred river beneath a canopy of endless stars. In the far-off lands of India, where the Ganges flowed like a ribbon of molten silver under the moonlight, a young Hindu maiden named Lila ventured into the jungle's embrace. The air was thick with the scent of jasmine and the hum of unseen creatures, the night alive with whispers of the wild. Lila, light as a gazelle, moved through the thorny undergrowth, her delicate feet brushing against the dew-kissed earth. In her trembling hands, she held a tiny lamp, its flickering flame a fragile beacon against the dark. This was no ordinary night. It was a test of fate, a ritual passed down through generations. Lila believed that if the lamp burned bright as it floated down the sacred river, her beloved Arjun would live through the dangers of his journey. As she knelt by the water's edge, the glassy surface reflecting 1,000 stars, she placed the lamp upon a lotus leaf and watched it drift away, her black, sparkling eyes tracing its path. The jungle held its breath, even the deer pausing by the riverbank, their eyes glinting with curiosity. Suddenly, a soft breeze stirred, and the flame wavered, threatening to extinguish. Lila's heart clenched, but then a miracle. A gentle glow of golden light rose from the water, a tiny spirit of the river, no larger than a firefly, guiding the lamp safely onward. The spirit shimmered, its light weaving patterns of ancient symbols in the air, a silent promise that Arjun still breathed beneath the same vast sky. Lila whispered a prayer to Brahma, her voice mingling with the rustle of banana leaves arching overhead like a tortoise's shell. Meanwhile, unbeknownst to her, the speckled snake coiled in the grass nearby stirred, not with malice, but with a strange enchantment, its scales glowing faintly as if touched by the same river magic. Back in Copenhagen, Hans sketched feverishly, capturing the interplay of moonlight and mystery. The spirit's golden dance, a vivid stroke of wonder on his page. The moon's voice grew softer, hinting at another tale waiting in the wings of the night. A story of a little girl and a hen house under the same watchful stars. As the city slumbered below, Hans felt the pull of dreams, the promise of more enchanted nights guiding his weary hand across the canvas of his imagination. The moon's light lingered, a silent guardian over a world where magic bloomed in the quietest hours, where every shadow held a story waiting to be told. Subscribe for more nightly tales. Hans sat back, his charcoal-stained fingers trembling with the weight of Lila's story, the image of the Golden River spirit still burning in his mind. The moon, ever a patient storyteller, cast a softer beam through the window, its light pooling on the worn wooden floor of the attic like a quiet pond under a starlit sky. The night deepened over Copenhagen, the distant hum of the city fading into a hush that seemed to cradle the world in slumber. The moon's voice, low and resonant, began anew, carrying Hans to a small courtyard nestled within the city's maze of houses, where the air smelled of damp stone and freshly turned earth. Here, under the watchful gaze of the crescent night, lived a little girl named Anna, with hair as golden as the dawn and eyes that sparkled with mischief. Anna's world was a simple one, bounded by the clucking of hens and the rough embrace of her father's stern but loving hand. Each evening, as the stars blinked awake, she would scamper through the courtyard, her laughter a melody against the stillness, chasing the chickens with a childlike glee that made even the grumpiest hen flutter in mock protest. But tonight, something was different. A shadow of guilt lingered in Anna's heart, for the day before, she had frightened the hen and her 11 chicks with her wild play, sending them into a squawking frenzy. As the moon's light traced the edges of the henhouse, Hans could almost hear the soft rustle of feathers and the faint chirps of the chicks nestled under their mother's wings. Anna, barefoot and clad in a patched dress, crept through the courtyard, her small hands clutching the edge of her apron as if it held her courage. She had a plan, born from the innocence of a child's remorse. She wanted to kiss the hen, to whisper an apology for her recklessness, to make peace under the cover of night. The henhouse door creaked as she pushed it open, the scent of straw and warmth enveloping her like a familiar hug. Inside, the hens stirred, their amber eyes glinting in the sliver of moonlight that slipped through a crack in the wall. Anna tiptoed forward, her breath catching as the mother hen let out a low, warning cluck, her wings spreading protectively over her brood. But Anna's heart was pure, and as she knelt in the straw, a strange magic unfolded. A faint shimmer like the dust of dreams rose from the hen's feathers, swirling around Anna in a gentle spiral. It was as if the night itself had blessed her intention, weaving a silent understanding between girl and bird. The hen's eyes softened, and though no kiss was given, Anna felt a warmth in her chest, a sign of forgiveness carried on the wings of that enchanted glow. Outside, her father's heavy footsteps approached, his voice sharp with concern as he called her name. But when he saw her tear-streaked face and heard her whispered confession of wanting to make amends, his anger melted like frost under the morning sun. He scooped her up, pressing a kiss to her forehead, while the moon watched, its light a tender caress on Anna's golden hair. Hans, sketching this scene, felt the weight of the moment, the quiet magic of reconciliation blending with the night's embrace. The courtyard, bathed in silvery hues, seemed a world apart, a tiny realm where even the smallest acts of kindness could summon wonders unseen. The moon murmured on, its tales threading through the fabric of Hans's dreams, promising more stories of hidden enchantments waiting just beyond the horizon of sleep. Each stroke of his pencil captured the essence of that courtyard, the interplay of shadow and light, the bond between a child and the creatures of the night, as if the very stars above Copenhagen conspired to preserve this fleeting moment. The tale lingered in the air, a reminder that even in the darkest hours, the heart could find its way to light, guided by the eternal witness of the moon and the whispers of a world asleep. Hans's eyes grew heavy, the weight of countless stories pulling him toward a slumber where he might wander through these scenes himself, beneath a sky painted with the hues of midnight and mystery. The moon's glow remained, a steadfast companion, guarding the secrets of the night as Hans's sketches lay scattered like fallen stars across his tiny room. Each image held a fragment of the magic he'd witnessed, a testament to the power of stories told under the cloak of darkness, where every whisper of the wind and every beam of moonlight could weave a new dream. And so, the night stretched on, an endless canvas for tales yet untold, waiting for the next evening when the moon would return with more wonders to share. The city below dreamed on, unaware of the magic spun in a painter's attic, where the boundary between reality and fantasy blurred under the spell of the night. Hans's last thought, before the tide of sleep claimed him, was of Anna's courtyard, of the hen's shimmering dust, and of the endless possibilities that awaited in the moon's next tale, a promise of enchantment that would guide him through the shadowy realms of his own imagination. The night, ever a keeper of secrets, held him close, its silence a lullaby woven from the threads of starlight and forgotten dreams, a tapestry of wonder that stretched across the heavens and into the heart of a lonely painter's world. The moon, eternal and unchanging, watched over all, its light a bridge between the ordinary and the extraordinary, a path that Hans would tread again when the next twilight fell over Copenhagen's ancient streets. The story, like the night itself, was far from over, its chapters waiting to unfold in the quiet hours when the world turned its face toward the stars.